Hey, it's Konstantin here. Welcome to Module 1, Lesson 2. In today's lesson, we're going to dive deep into your target audience's mind and find out exactly what their dreams are, what their hopes are, but also what their pains and fears are. And the reason why I've created kind of the structure in this way where, we could have started this course by, hey, here are the copy templates, here are the Facebook ads, go figure it out, right? The reason why we do the market research first is because of this reason. So I would love to start off with a quote by Eugene Schwartz, who said that copy in itself cannot create a desire for a product. It can only take the hopes, dreams, fears, and desires that already exist in the hearts of millions of people and focus these already existing desires onto a particular product. This is the copywriter task, not to create this mass desire, but to channel and direct it. Right, so we could have just started with writing copy first and make blind assumptions of like, hey, this is what my market wants. These are the type of headlines to run. These are the type of creatives. But copy in itself, as Eugene Schwartz said, one of the advertising legends, is that you cannot create desire by just writing things down and make blind assumptions. That's why we're going to dive deep into your target audience's mind and find exactly all their dreams, pains, and fears. And also David Ogilvy, I've already shared with you some of his ads, right, in the previous lessons. David Ogilvy himself said that like his most successful campaigns came from actually doing research and swiping old ideas, old ads, and kind of like revamping them and make it their own. That's how he kind of came up with some of his most brilliant ideas. And that's another reason why we're going to do this research. And the main thing that you kind of want to figure out is what is the actual pain people experience, right? When you've got that splinter right in your fingernail all the way up here, where it's just like, just like screaming, right? Like that's the pain that we want to try to find in our target audience, because we already know from our mental models lesson, which was one of the Life Force 8, is that people want to move away from pain into a more desired position in their life, right? So we're linking kind of like all of the mental models and everything that we learn, we're going to apply it in today's lesson. So here's what we'll cover. We're going to gather intel of your target audience. We're going to find out exactly where they hang out, what their problem is, and find a unique solution that we can offer to the marketplace. Here's an amazing framework from Russell Brunson. It's called the secret formula, and this is an analogy with fish, right? So who is kind of like your target audience? What kind of fish are you after? Where can you find that fish? And what is the bait that you can use for that fish? Could it be like a low ticket product? Could it be a course? Could it be a service, a done for you service to bait that target audience towards you? And what result and guarantee can you give to that particular fish? So I personally love scuba diving myself, so I'm going to give you an example with scuba diving. And in this particular case, like what is that I'm looking for when scuba diving? This is me in the Philippines, and one of the goals that I always have is to find a Nemo fish, right? And to find a Nemo fish, have a look have a look at the environment, right? They are living in this very specific coral reef. And that's exactly what I'm looking for when doing scuba dives, right? I'm looking for that coral to begin with, and then I'm almost certain that I can find the Nemo fish. On a bigger level, it's like, okay, well, where is the ocean, right? Like where do you need to travel to find that fish? And that's usually in warmer oceans. This was in the Philippines, but there kind of this particular fish is all across the world. You can find it. And then what is the problem that the Nemo fish experiences, right? Like you might be thinking, oh, it's a super friendly fish. They're always just swimming happily together with their family. Nothing ever goes wrong. But I have to stop you right there. There is a huge problem that the Nemo fish experiences, which is this massive whale shark, right? Like once it swims by, it just creates those massive waves and it just destroys like everything in its path and everything that is on the ocean bottom, right? So it's a massive problem for the Nemo fish and the whole family. So then you might be thinking, okay, look, what is the solution, right? Like the fish just goes from from one place to another. Like, how can we stop this fish? How can we protect the Nemo family? And I came up with a very unique, very costly solution, which is swimming underneath the whale shark to protect the Nemo family, right? That's one of my personal solutions that I came up with, and it's a very costly one, right? Like we charge a lot for this solution to the Nemo family to protect them, right? And I hope you've enjoyed the analogy. I know it's a little bit of a crazy one, but you can apply the same analogy to rich people, for instance, right? Like with some of our clients, we target people that have a net worth of $5 million plus. And then you can think of, okay, so where do these rich people hang out? I can assure you that in every single city, there is a suburb where they have expensive homes, right? 2 million plus, 3 million plus. And then you already know, okay, well, they are in that particular neighborhood. What kind of cars do they drive? What sort of hobbies do they have? And I can tell you again, and it's from experience, because we've done a lot of research in the space, rich people love play tennis, and they also love playing golf, right? So to make things practical, if you're doing market research in this audience, you can be like, okay, well, let me join a Facebook group of that particular club in that particular neighborhood where all the homes are $2-3 million plus. And then in that Facebook group, that's where all the members are, right? So you can ask them questions, you can see what sort of problems they have. And I know this for a fact that a lot of rich people, and kind of including myself and most business owners, they hate paying a lot of tax, right? So what kind of unique solutions can you come up with? Can you come up with like a trust company LLC structure that helps rich people save more tax? Can you help them invest in property to reduce their tax? All sorts of unique solutions that you can offer. And I hope with the second example, it became a little bit more clear of where we're going. But to make things even more practical, I included this market research form for you. This is a form that we use for all of our clients when we write copy for them. And I want to kind of walk you through step by step exactly how we would do this research in the particular e-commerce brand space. So I'm going to give you kind of like another target audience. This target audience is applicable to our own agency. We have, e-commerce brands that we're scaling up. And I want to give you this example because it's just going to make both of our lives very easy, because I know a lot about the space and I can just walk you through point by point. And by the way, like with this sheet, right, like all you have to do is simply go to file and then make a copy, and the sheet is yours. So you got like access already to the RISE tool, the flight plan calendar, and the market analysis tool. So here we are. The goal eventually is, again, to find out exactly what the current situation is of your target audience and what their dream outcome is, right? That's your goal. And in order to find exactly the challenges, the pains, fears, hopes, and dreams, we're going to go through these lists and kind of like sites, Facebook groups, step by step. So the very first one that I like to start is answer the public. So I've already typed in how to scale e-commerce brands. And this is a tool from Neil Patel, who is kind of like an SEO expert. And with this tool, it's really handy because it just gives you a lot of keyword suggestions. So how to scale an e-commerce brand, how to start an e-commerce brand. Like down the line, if we want to run Google Ads, a keyword like how to start e-commerce is not a keyword that we would target in the Google ads. We would target more a keyword like, how to scale an e-commerce business with Facebook ads, for instance. We make it even longer, long tail, right? So that's tool number 1 for you. Tool number 2, and that's what we've kind of just done. We found a lot of e-commerce brand keywords that we can type into Google through Answer the Public. I've typed in one of them and straight away I get a lot of market intel right there. So we've got here Shopify, which is an app that a lot of e-commerce brands use, which is very useful. We've got here Founder promoting the ultimate e-commerce guide. Start and scale your online business. So let's have a look what they're up to. And here is and this is beautiful, right? Because we already identified a landing page. There's already people selling in this space and they're running ads for a reason, right? Like they're not going to run ads just because it's fun. They're running ads because it's profitable for them. So we can use a lot of the copy as well for us in the future. So here they're promoting an AI-powered shortcut for finding e-commerce products with explosive growth potential. So interesting, right? So we can swipe this website and copy and paste this at the dream outcome. Right, so you see how we found the keyword at Answer the Public, we entered in Google, we find a bunch of other stuff, and we can start going deeper and deeper down the rabbit hole. Then Google Discussion is a really awesome tool. So in order to get the app, you just type in Google Discussions and you can use that as a tool moving forward. So on top of images, videos, and news that you can search, you'll be able to search discussions, right? And one of the things that I discovered is a person here on Reddit mentions that I have wasted over $1 million on digital marketing staff. Wow. I don't want to be that person, right? And this is just absolutely gold, right? Because here, this person is literally summarizing all of his problems he had throughout the years. From, staff are not adding value, they're not happy to pour money, they're all of the problems that this person has experienced, and this is probably a multi-7, maybe even an 8-figure business owner. He literally summarizes everything that he has experienced. So now in our marketing, we can use these pain points. You get where I'm going? So going back to the sheet, I have already swiped this at the pains, and I've just swiped the complete post. So that was the Reddit post as well. You can search up a lot of things on Reddit. Facebook groups, I highly recommend to find paid Facebook groups as opposed to free ones, especially if you're interested in kind of like markets that are more sophisticated, especially for us. I just don't want to deal with beginners. People are just getting started out. I want to find out where the big whales are, right? And it's been a little bit digging, but what I found was one podcast. This was one podcast I found. This is also an amazing tool, Spotify, to find podcasts around your niche. And then in the description, look what we find right there. Interested in our private community for 7-figure owners. Learn more. So there we have it. We've got ourselves a community of e-commerce brands of 7- and 8-figure store owners, right? So this is where these people hang out. So this one you can potentially join. And what are the requirements to join, by the way? Vibrant 12 average. So yeah, in this particular case, we won't qualify because we won't have an e-commerce brand, but we have many e-commerce brands as clients that are that are actually that are qualifying for this membership, and we can ask them to join, and then we can do the research right there. So it's a pretty deep one, but this is how the stuff goes. If you really want to win, then this is really what it takes to find out exactly what people want and don't want. And then we can join the group, join it through a client, and see what everyone is up to. So that was Facebook groups for you. Like there are a lot of free ones, but what I've just found, if you're looking for that premium market, if you're interested in, it really all depends. I would say both free as well as paid Facebook groups are amazing. It's just that kind of depends on who it is that you're targeting. Amazon reviews, if for instance, here is one of the biggest brands in Australia, the Oodie, right? And with Amazon reviews, what you can find is basically what people are liking, what people are disliking about the service. And this will help you both in your marketing as well as in your kind of competitor research. If you're developing a better product, you can kind of stack all of your competitors and see what exactly the gaps are, what people want, what people don't want, and potentially create a product. I think that's going to be a very tough thing to do because Oodie is it's an awesome product. I personally own one myself, but yeah, it's going to be hard to outcompete these guys. But you can find what people like, what don't like, and that's why we've added the Amazon reviews for you as well. This one, Clutch B2B, it's more for B2B, and here you can find all sorts of. You can find the reviews of, for instance, agencies, software as a service. It's more applicable to our market, and we can find our competitors here, for instance, right? We can find all of the agencies in Australia, in kind of wherever, and we can find exactly what they're offering, what their price points are, how much they charge, stuff like that. So Clutch is a little bit, kind of like a bonus one that I decided to add, but it's something we use ourselves quite often. Trustpilot, similar to Amazon reviews. Again, here the Oodie, right? A lot of people really loving it. You know, some people are just like complaining because they haven't received that. And that's kind of one thing, you know, right? Like if you're promoting something similar, you will know that, hey, people just want, and that's with e-commerce in general, people want their products fast, right? Because they're used to Amazon one-day delivery and stuff like that. And that can be like a component for you that you can use in your marketing. Right, softwares, this is a huge one. So which softwares are e-commerce brands using? And for us, in particular, it's interesting to see which softwares our $1 million plus e-commerce brands are using. And these are a bit more pricier tools. Hyros, it's a tracking software that can track across multiple platforms. It's we're in Hyros agency partner, by the way. But I know that a lot of e-commerce brands are geared towards Triple Whale. So that's another one. And now you can go to the Facebook group of Triple Whale. You can go to the Facebook group of Hyros and find and message and see what your target audience are saying and see what their problems are. And finally, once you've done all the research, you found all the websites, all the kind of like all the intel from the market, what you can do then is describing their challenges, right? So target market 3, which is in our case, example e-commerce brands, you know, what is their current situation? They might be spending 10K a day on ads and they want to scale it up to 20K a day in ad spend while maintaining their performance. So you know their pain, that is just fluctuating, and that's just from personal experience. A lot of e-commerce brands struggle with fluctuating performance, constant high cost per acquisition, low ROAS, constant need for new creatives, copy, headlines to rejuvenate that performance. And their pains and fears are that, you know, potentially someone comes in, does the market research and copies the product, right? With this product, it's going to be very hard, but there are a lot of e-commerce brands like around 500,000, $1 million a year mark that are incredible products. And what basically happens is someone comes in, they kind of like copy their product and scale them up and just take the whole market, right? That's a huge pain point for a lot of e-commerce brands. So that could be like a fear, right? Someone copying. You know, frustrations, bad performance. Right, so stuff like that you can chuck it in, and urgent problems, maybe you know, senior staff leaving, and now they've got no head of marketing, you know, and that's an awesome one for us, right? If there's like things happening in the marketing department, we can come in, partner up with the brand, and deliver even better performance. So just to quickly summarize things, we have discovered an awesome framework to kind of identify what is that we're targeting, where do they hang out, what exactly the problem is, and what the solution is. Remember the unique solution of swimming under the whale shark to protect the Nemo fish? That's the concept right there. And then I have given you the market research tool and also gave you an example of kind of what we're doing for our own clients to prepare the market research to eventually write copy, right? So that's the market research tool for you. So here are the action items for this lesson is to describe your target audience. Don't be afraid to have multiple ones, right? The example that I've given you was more towards kind of like e-commerce brands doing over $1 million a year. But you can do the same for the beginner market, for people that just want to get started, kind of like trying drop shipping, trying kind of like different methods to make money online. You can have that as a target audience. Have a play around, have a feel for the market. What sort of segments of the markets are there? And describe that in the form. So fill out the market research form for multiple audiences and find out exactly what their pains and desired outcomes are, right? And for every target market, it's going to be different. For a person that's just getting started out, they want to make 10K a month online. That's kind of like the main thing. With a more sophisticated target audience, the same thing, like e-commerce, they want to grow from, let's say, 8 million to 20 million a year, right? It's a complete different ballgame, and they need better ads. They need, you know, UGC creatives. They need like all sorts of crazy stuff to achieve their goals. So the better you do your market research, and I, again, can't stress enough the importance of this, the better you do this, the easier the next lessons become, because we're going to do competitor research, then we're going to craft our offers based on what we found, and eventually we're going to actually write ads for our Facebook, Google, and YouTube ads, right? So the better you do this market research, the easier your life will become. I hope you've enjoyed this lesson. I'll see you in the next one.